All right, welcome to episode 61 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today we are looking at the 1986 classic Castle in the Sky. There's so much beautiful animation in here that I only took scenes from the first third of the movie. I'll have to tackle the other ones in a later episode. So much incredibly complex and beautiful animation here. Let's look at this first shot. We have an up shot looking up through the hole that Pazu just fell through. Now Sheeta's feet are planted on the wall here. There's no shadow or anything, but we get it by the animation. Really simple shapes on the dress there. No extra detail needed. Extreme multiple hands here. She's moving really quickly. And then she falls. Now when she falls, her arm reaches the complete length there, and she can only spin. So it has to go from translation into rotation. You can see the hands are drawn on top of the bricks there, and then they pop off. And as she's falling, just really nice hand pose. You can see what's going on there. Next shot, Sheeta's falling, Pazu's reaching out, and all in one frame, boom, there she falls. And there's just some blur there. Her leg actually goes up on the second frame. Debris flying everywhere. Vertical camera shake. There's a few camera shakes throughout here that are just really descriptive. It's either straight vertical or straight horizontal based on the action that's happening. Here we have a vehicle entering. I always love the vehicles in the Miyazaki-san's films. They're just so drawn so beautifully. Again, I mean, this is, just to be real clear, this is 1986. Zero 3D available here. This is all just drawn out of people's heads, maybe looking at models. Camera's going to adjust over here for the composition. The vehicle's going to rotate up here. These fenders are just kind of floating on there. Here's a storyboard pose from the original one Miyazaki drew. Just, so everything was already there. The composition, the design, just very, very loosely drawn. Got this beautiful smoke coming in there. Terrific stuff. In this shot here, now the background's panning past. We're going to have a bunch of stuff, buckets and rolling pins and umbrellas that are repeated throughout there. You can watch these as Dola's getting ready now. So at first we were focusing on the background and all the stuff going on. Now she's going to be going back, 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 back. She's going to lead with her arm, or lead with her body, arm following, lead with her elbow. Same objects are cycling through there. She's going to throw this grenade back. And we're going to look back here. Now, all this crowd of people. There's about 10 people animated in the front, and there's 20 or 30 other characters behind them. So the grenade's going to come in here, going to bounce on the ground. All the debris that we saw previously is on the ground. That's all going to be moving in a second. Look at all these characters reacting. Look at these terrific shapes here and lines of action and just super wonderful silhouettes. Very, very clear. They see the grenade. They have all this terrific posing here, and it's going to hold for a beat there. It's just going to rotate on the ground a little bit. They're all going to immediately stop running, retreating backwards. They're all going to turn and run and run and run. There's lots of popping here, but we're just looking at the group. We're not too worried about the individuals. There's a couple of people here running backwards. I'm guessing that might even be the same running forwards animation that's just put in reverse, which is, in this case, totally fine, totally acceptable. There's so much going on. And then there was that first frame, and then boom. Here comes all this debris. Look at all these rocks coming up. Look at the pieces on the ground in front of us. The broom, the bottle, the bucket, the chair. Everything is coming up now. So it moves up first and then out towards us second. Look at this pieces of this chair coming over here. Wonderful detail on that. And we're going to have the vertical camera shake up and down. Just terrific stuff. Rolling smoke there. This shot. This is the first shot where there's just so much there's two shots here I really wanted to break down. This first one here, look at all of this, and this too on the side there, the seat, all these 2x4s, everything. Look how this this scaffolding was built here. It's so sketchy and shaky. I mean, there's so many incredible shapes. I just drew all this really quickly, and it was like, oh, this is exhausting just tracing over this and doing a terrible job of it. There's so much happening here. All this needs to be integral. It needs to keep the same volumes, and you're animating the smoke on top of it. All these pieces are breaking here. Breakage, breakage, breakage. all the detail on there, all the wood, and then at the same time we've got this bench over here getting smashed. We have 6 characters on this car. They're all animating along. The car is rotating, changing angle. Again, here's a storyboard pose, just super descriptive. Everything is already working there, and then it's just up to the animators to say, okay, how are we going to bring this to life and get all this detail animating smoothly? So much, the debris on the right, the track on the left, the bridge falling down. Just an incredible amount of work here, and you know, nothing terribly popping. It's all animated very effectively, frame by frame. And I could just imagine the drawings that were happening on this. I'm guessing it's 16 field paper, which is that we got our normal 12 field paper, and then 16 field is a few inches bigger. Now we have this cannon over here shooting. Look at these wonderful, they got this negative black on the left there, on screen left, and then the explosion keeps going. Just got these very few colors here. Now we have a horizontal camera shake as the shell goes up to the left there, and all the smoke. Now we're not actually even going to even see the shell here. We just see a little bit of light there. Boom, flash frame. It's going to hit this bridge. We're going to have everything blowing up here. The car, the mine cart, and just look at these simple shapes on the top there. Just you know, trying to make it so that we can put the detail on later. Again, beautiful storyboard, super descriptive, super rough, but everything's very clear. The composition, everything is all set out for us here. Look at this wonderful smoke. The car emerges from behind the smoke, keeps on going there, and just to show the detailer, let's look at this one piece of wood and break it down. Look how well this one piece of wood is animated. The detail is there, the structure is there, everything, that's the level of art that is going on here. This isn't just really loosely drawn. This is very tight. Now we have minimal detail here on Shita and Pazu running away. You can see the background is moving on ones there, and the foreground, or the middle ground maybe, is animating on twos. So we have this bridge animating from left to right. We have the cart in the back gaining there, and as it's gaining, everything is collapsing. These ones on screen left are going to collapse soon. The ones on screen right are all collapsing. And this is all drawn every single frame. Here again, look at this wonderful storyboard, so descriptive. Gives us everything that we need to start out with animating this. Look at all the debris on the right. There's no debris on screen left yet. It's just got this visual contrast of all the chaos on one side and everything untouched on the other side. Coming up with the car pushing the minecart. We've got Dola in front there. One of her henchman's sons right behind him there, trying to get to the 2 kids. They're running away. It's almost, you know, it's almost unbelievable, but it's so well animated that it is believable. It looks like, wow, this could actually be happening. This is craziness. And like I say, I mean, these drawings, I could imagine these drawings taking a day per drawing. Now, it might sound like an exaggeration, but when you've done this kind of work and you've flipped those big 16 field pieces of paper and you've done the roughs and you've done the cleanup and the in-betweens and you're going through frame by frame, yeah, it could take a day per drawing, definitely. The last scene here, I just love the contrast in this. All this crazy action, and then we have this beautiful bucket in the water scene here. Look at the ripple that's trailing behind the bucket there. Bucket is drawn whenever it's below the water. We have these wavy lines. The water is just so beautifully, simply animated. It exists on the plane of the surface there. The bucket goes underneath. The bucket comes up, takes some of the water with it. The highlight now on the screen right is being interrupted. Again, just a really nice hand pose there as it's coming up. And the water, like I say, it's nothing too fancy here. It's just, oh, bucket goes up, picks some of the water, removes the water from the main area there. We have the ripples just showing, just subtly showing the perspective on the water plane there. Now that you can see that the air and the water is mixing down on screen right there. That's what's causing these bubbles. Almost done as the bucket is coming up. Water is draining out there, trailing behind, sticking to the bucket as water does. Whenever you pick something up, the water is always sticking behind it. Perspective on the surface there. And it's just so beautifully done. And just one thing too, to break it down, a lot of times we would have one person animating the characters and another person animating the effects. And that would happen at 2 different times, 2 different people. Imagining that's what happened here as well. That's just a few scenes from the first third of Castle in the Sky. Thanks for checking it out, and I look forward to breaking down more of this beautiful, beautiful film. Take care, and I'll see you next time.